Alright, hey guys, Wefes here and welcome to another Hearthstone card review, and I'm really excited to talk about the new cards in Kobolds and Catacombs. So without further ado, I have a lot of cards to talk about, so let's begin. First, we have to talk about the current meta as well as the new mechanics that are going to be introduced in this new expansion. The thing we want to talk about is a new keyword called Recruit, which is basically just pull a minion from from your deck into the board. And take note, when you do that, there's no battle cry effect, alright? So there's that. It's something like a Yasharaj, if you will. So next we have a new mechanic called the Artifacts, or what Blizzard likes to call the Legendary Weapons, and every single class is going to get one, so that's kind of interesting, I guess, which means that traditionally non-weapon users like priests and mage and warlock get weapons this time around, which is intriguing to say the least, but still we'll have to talk about them when we get to them, alright? And last but not least, we want to talk about the current meta decks, which is Highlight the Priest, a Temple Rogue, Druid, and Demon Lock, right? These are the most common decks that are currently around, and we'll see if this expansion is able to build on these, or maybe counter these in some way. So first card, we have the Legendary Artifact, which is for Mage. It's Elunif, and it's a 6-mana 0/3 weapon. At the end of your turn, draw 3 cards. So it goes without saying that the 3 durability is because every time you end your turn, it will lose 1 durability, and then you draw 3 cards, right? You can't draw infinite amount of cards. You're gonna kill yourself, right? So this essentially means that you draw 9 cards, and I think that this is actually not very viable in an Exodia deck, because when you cast this and you keep drawing cards, even without Adonef, you already more or less mill yourself, right? Sometimes you just accidentally mill yourself, sometimes you complete the quest and then you find that, hey, where's my Time Warp? Your Time Warp got burnt, right? It got milled away. So I don't think Exodia is a good deck to run Elunef. It's more for like those really cheap spells, for like the traditional Machine Gun Mage. I don't know how you want to be able to do that, given that now Flame Waker is out of the meta, but maybe in the future we see more cards from Mage and we see something that can, allow mages to do this. We'll see. But for now, I'm not too sold about this card. 5 out of 10. Next, we have Branching Paths. It's a Druid card, 4 mana spell. Choose twice. Draw a card, give your minions +1 attack, and gain 6 armor. At first glance, it looks like, a very expensive Arcane Intellect, right? But actually it's not. You're paying the extra mana for the choice, right? You can draw. And every choice is so good in any situation. This card is good in any situation. If you're losing, gain armor, draw a card. If you're winning, you can give your minions +1 attack, give your minions +2 attack. Everything is good. Every time. So this is a good card. I give it 8 out of 10. Next, we have Carnivorous Cube. It's a 5 mana neutral for 6. Battle cry, destroy friendly minion. Death Rattle, summon 2 copies of it. I don't think this card is ever going to be played normally. I mean, you can play it on an empty board, right? But why the heck would you do that? Now, it's only primarily used for eggs. And yeah, do not destroy treasure chests with this, because you're going to spawn 2 treasure chests for your opponents to destroy. No. So, I mean, technically you can do this, use this card for in Arena. It's kind of good, I guess. You want to play Death Rattle decks that have a lot of eggs, then you can probably play that as well. But I don't think this is a very good standard card, so 3 out of 10. Next, we have Cheat Death. It's a 2 mana rogue secret. Wait, what? Rogues have secrets now? Yeah, so Cheat Death is a secret. When a friendly minion dies, return it to your hand, right? The thing is, secrets never ever proc on your turn. So when your friendly minion dies on your turn, it doesn't proc. When your opponent kills the minion, then it will proc, right? So it really depends. If you have a really important minion on the board and it's only 1 minion, your opponent has to kill it. For example, you have your Gadgets and Auctioneer, right? You leave it on the board and it's the only minion on the board, and you play Cheat Death. Holy shit, he has to kill the Auctioneer, right? And when he realizes that, hey, it's a 4 mana Auctioneer next turn, oh my god, this is gonna be insane. So there are situations that Cheat Death is really good, but you really need to know how and when to play that. It's not a randomly play kind of card. So yeah, it is a good card, but you need to also know how to use it. Next, we have Crushing Walls. It's a hunter spell, 7 mana, destroy your opponent's left and rightmost minions. So basically, it will kill 2 minions no matter what for 7 mana. If Deadly Shot is 3 mana, this is 7 mana. I'm not so sure if this is better. And normally, if people play against hunters, they also don't really play around Crushing Walls. I don't think they would ever. In Arena they will, but in Standard not so much, because Crushing Walls is just way too expensive, and if you only have 2 minions on the board, they deserve to die anyway. So yeah, unless I don't see this card being played much, unless Control Hunters actually get really good control 2-3 drops early. Otherwise, this might be a little bit too late for you hunters. You want to go face, not destroy opponent's minions. That's the deal. Next, we have Dragon Soul. It's a 3 mana priest artifact. After you cast 3 spells in a turn, summon a 5/5 dragon. So I think Blizzard wants to push Priest into the Miracle Priest kind of meta, and we saw it work very well with Highlander Priest, right? But the thing is, if we add Dragon Soul into the deck, is it good enough? And the answer is, even though it summons a 15/15 worth of stats and it's only a free mana, it kind of actually costs a lot more than that, right? Sure, your spells can be reduced using your Radiant Elemental, it might not be enough. You kind of want to keep your spells for your machine gunning the face, but if you have Dragon Soul and then you're already in the late game, then it's useful, right? So the 3 mana, I'm not so sure. Maybe if you can play it in the late game, then it might be useful, but for now it kind of feels like it's a little bit too much. If you are already throwing missiles to your opponent's face, you're already winning, right? You don't need to summon more dragons to help you win even more. I don't think that's necessary. It's the requirements are a little bit too costly, so I'm giving it a 4 out of 10. Next, we have Dry Gulch Jailer. Dry Gulch Jailer is a 2 mana 1/1 paladin minion. Death Rattle, add free Silver Hand recruits to your hand. So Silver Hand recruit is a 1 mana 1/1, right? So on its own, it's really bad. I don't recommend to play this card. In Arena, it's at least a little better because it kind of gives you card draw per se. And you can use your 1 mana dudes instead of a 2 mana dudes to maybe combo it with like Bone Bear or something, right? So that might be better. Sorry, that was my WhatsApp. Hang on, let me go remove the WhatsApp real quick. So yeah, on its own it's really not that good, but it might be useful with the upcoming card that I will be talking about, Level Up, where you can play that and then play Level Up and then it becomes a free minion with Taunt. It might be a little bit better. Alright, so currently 5 out of 10. Next, we have Dustbreaker. It's a 4 mana free, the stat line's kind of but then you battle cry. If you're holding a dragon, deal free damage to all other minions, including your own, by the way. So it's somewhat like a Hellfire, except you don't deal damage to face and your own face as well. So it's kind of like a control Dragon Priest. It's kind of weird because Dragon Priest usually you try to utilize tempo, right? You want to keep playing your dragons after minions. But if you want to play Dustbreaker, you're kind of killing your own minions in the process, and I'm not sure if that's a good thing. Right, so this card is rather anti-tempo when your Dragon's Priests are kind of like very tempo-ish. So I feel like Dustbreaker is kind of in a weird place right now. Maybe people can find a way to utilize this without, compromising on tempo. But for now, I kind of feel like it's just a 5 out of 10, not so good. Alright, we have Feral Gibberer. It's a 1 mana 1/1 neutral card. After this minion attacks a hero, add a copy of it to your hand. So basically, do not feed the gremlins after midnight, right? So this card is actually good if it had charge. Right now, it doesn't have charge. It's kind of like, what are you doing with your life? It might be useful to activate combos for rogues, or maybe activate things for Highlander Priest, but it's just quite much more useful if it's for token decks like a Shamans or Druids, right? For Druids, you kind of buff it up, and then you, for example, you have 1, and then you have 2 on the board, and the opponent still doesn't deal with it, and then you hit, then suddenly you have 4 on the board, and suddenly it just overwhelms your opponent, right? But if your opponent can deal with a 1/1, which usually your opponent should be able to, a mage can ping it, a druid can attack it, a rogue can attack it, mortal coil is a thing, so all of these things can deal with a 1/1, right? So when your opponents can deal with it, then it's just nothing, right? So it's useful in Shamans and Druids most probably, but I wouldn't count it a very good card. I mean, Firefly is still a little bit better in that regard. 5 out of 10. Might be able to use it in Quest Rogue. Who knows? Next, we have Gather Your Party. It's a 6 mana warrior spell. Basically, recruit a minion. So this card is basically for the more heavy decks, right? You want to have a lot of high cost minions, and then when you play a 6-drop, it actually becomes a 7-drop, or 8-drop, or 9-drop, or 10-drop, or even your Molten Giants and whatnot, right? Because currently, for warriors, they don't have something like that. They don't have an archetype that requires him to have really big minions. So it's really awkward for warriors right now, and it really doesn't suit the card meta. So I'm giving it a 4 out of 10. Next, we have Guild Recruiter. It's a 5 mana 2/4. A 5 mana 2/4, your battle cry had better be good, right? So it says recruit a minion that costs 4 or less. So the ideal for this card is to pull a 4 mana card, right? Any other cool may not be worth it because you're actually paying. Okay, maybe you pull a free drop, it might be better. The thing is, a Guild Recruiter is not good in battle cry decks, right? So and the current meta utilizes way too many battle cry cards. So I'm not sure how this will fit in, but great pulls from Guild Recruiter would be things like Doomsayer, things like Giant Taunts, like Earth Elemental, stuff like that, or stuff that gives you end of turn procs, right? Pulling a the Armor Smith, or the I don't know, like there's so many other things, Weapon Master, things like that. Those might be good. So I'm giving it a 6 out of 10. It has potential, but we'll have to see. Next, we have Katharina Winterwisp. It's an 8 mana 6/6 Hunter Legendary. Battlecry and Death Rattle, recruit a beast. So it's kind of an Aya for Hunters, right? I kind of feel like this is trying to push people, Hunters, into a really late game, big beasts kind of thing. And Sure, you can pull out King Crush, you can pull out all your dinosaurs and whatnot, right? And that might be good, but the thing is it actually viable and constructed? I don't think so, right? You kind of want to play a lot of beasts, even even if you play Katharina Winter Wisp, right? You want to play what you call it, your Tundra Rhino, your Scavenging Hyena, your Alley Cats, all of these, and it kind of feels really weird if you play Katharina and you pull out an Alley Cat. So yeah, it's kind of weird in constructed right now. So I think we'll have to see if there are more cards that support the Control Hunter archetype. Otherwise, it's kind of weird. Next, we have Kobold Illusionist. It's a 4 mana free Death Rattle. Summon a 1/1 copy of a minion from your hand. So if you only have one minion from your hand, it's not that random. But if you have more than one minion, then a random minion is selected, right? So if you're a rogue, do you want a 1/1 copy of a minion to be copied from your hand? Probably if you're playing Death Rattle Rogue, right? What other things are useful? Maybe it summons a 1/1 copy of a Gadget Sand Auctioneer. That might be pretty good too. But the thing is, the deal breaker here is that it's a Death Rattle, right? So because it's a Death Rattle, people kill it and then kill the 1/1 immediately, right? Unless you have something like a Jade Swarmer, and then the copy will be stealthed anyway, so they can't kill it, right? So it really depends on what you pull out. But for now, I kind of feel like it has potential, so I'm giving it 6 out of 10. It might be good. Next, we have Lesser Jasper Spellstone. It's a druid 1 mana spell, deal 2 damage to a minion. Gain free armor to upgrade it to a Jasper Spellstone, which deals 4 damage to a minion. Gain free armor again to upgrade it into a 6 damage minion, right? So things that you can use to upgrade your Spellstone is to maybe Ganache, you maybe use your Death Knight hero power, you can use Bite, you can use Urban Scales, you can Claw with your hero power, and then you can upgrade it, right? So there are many ways to upgrade this, and even when you don't upgrade this, a 1 mana deal 2 damage to a minion is already quite insane. So yeah, Blizzard's still giving druids a lot of love, and I feel like this is actually a pretty good card. 1 mana deal 6, insane. Next, we have Lesser Mithril Spellstone. It's a 7 mana warrior spell. Summon 1 5/5 Mithril Golem. A 7 mana summon 5/5. That is too weak. That is just too weak, alright? The base card alone is just too weak. And as a warrior, you don't really want to summon you don't really have many weapons to play, right? You only have like things like your Rusty Hooks, your Upgrade, your Blood Razor, and then you can upgrade your weapon, upgrade the Spellstone, and then even as 7 mana summon 2 5/5s. Is this good enough? I don't think the Mithril Golems have Taunt, so it's still kind of awkward. I wouldn't really play this card. I'd rather play Bone Mare, because Bone Mare gives Taunt, and you kind of like can go face immediately. This one still has to wait another turn, so I don't think it's good. 3 out of 10. Next, we have Lesser Sapphire Spellstone. It's a Shaman 7 mana spell. Summon 1 copy of a friendly minion. I mean, if you have a Doppelgangster, sure, I can summon 1 copy of a friendly minion. But a 7 mana to copy, I might as well just play, you know, the Shapeshifter, right? This is just Faceless Manipulator or something like that. I forgot the name. That's just too weak, alright? So you need to upgrade it by overloading, and technically overloading as a shaman is not too difficult, and overloading is kind of cumulative. So you can slowly upgrade the Spellstone, right? It doesn't really matter. So maybe when you draw it, you already have a Sapphire Spellstone, or maybe you have a greater Sapphire Spellstone waiting for you. So summoning 2 minions, 2 copies of a friendly minion might be a little bit better, and then you can evolve it with at 8 mana. That would be really helpful, I guess. So yeah, it kind of has the potential to be good in an evolved shaman. However, I still feel like 7 mana is a little too costly. Even the Death Knight card was only 5 mana, so I kind of feel like this is a little bit of an overkill. 6 out of 10. Next, we have Level Up. It's a 5 mana Paladin spell. Give your Silverhand recruits +2/+2 and Taunt. So you can combo it with Stand Against Darkness. A crazier combo would be the previous turn you played Steward of Darkshire, and then you play Stand Against Darkness and then Level Up. It will be insane. Can you imagine 5 Silverhand recruits that are 3/3 and with Taunt and Divine Shield? That's a little bit too much for your opponent to handle. If you manage to pull this off, your opponent will concede unless they have like Twisting Nether or something. Yeah, so this is actually really strong. However, if your opponent has Devolved, then you're kind of like fuck, right? So yeah, it's kind of sad in that manner. However, there are so many Duke creators right now, right? For Paladins, we have Vine Cleaver, we have Lost in Jungle, we have the Dry Gulch Jailer that we already recently reviewed. So I think that there might be potential with this level up. However, yeah, I wouldn't go too far to say that it's a really good card. Next, we have Marin the Fox. We have already seen this card being played in Standard as well as Wild. It's inconsistent, people don't really like this card. Sure, it gives you a lot of memes, it gives you a lot of good videos. However, if you want to play this competitively, I would say no, don't play it. The only reason it would be good is if everyone is playing Death Rattle decks, and which isn't happening right now. So if people are playing Death Rattle decks, then you can play Marin the Fox and it'd be very anti-N'Zoth. Other than that, all of these cards, while good, are quite memey. and it's kind of like really too expensive to play an 8 mana 6/6 do nothing. Yeah. So we'll have to see. Right now, given the current applications, it doesn't seem to be that good, right? Sure, when you play a Xerox Crown, it becomes really good. If you play a Toland's Goblet and suddenly you have a whole bunch of Eviscerates, it's really, really good. However, it's still just too inconsistent, right? I wouldn't place too much value on Baron. Next, we have Rin, the First Disciple. It's a 6 mana 3/6 taunt, Death Rattle. Add the first seal to your hand. Even as taunt is cheat, I think this is the worst legendary to have come out from Blizzard. I think it's even worse than Nat Pago. It's worse than Nat the Darkfisher. This is just bad, and it's a class legendary. Can you believe it? It's so bad. 6 mana 3/6 taunt, sure, I guess that's decent, right? But everything else costs too much. You pay 5 mana to summon a 2/2, are you kidding me? You pay 5 mana to summon a 3/3, are you kidding me? You pay 5 mana to summon a 4/4, are you kidding me? You pay 5 mana to summon a 5/5, okay, I guess that makes a little bit of sense. You pay 5 mana to summon a 6/6, yeah, that's the proper stat line you're supposed to be summoning. And then you pay 10 mana to summon a 10/10, that wins you the game. You have to spend essentially, like what, 30 mana to win the game? Your opponents might have already killed you by then. This is not a good card. This is a terrible, terrible card. Never play Rin. Next, we have Rummaging Kobold. It's a 3 mana 1/3 neutral epic. Battlecry return one of your destroyed weapons to your hand. I think this is one of the better cards in the neutral set. It's a new mechanic of returning destroyed weapons. And it's possible to get your Smart Warrior comeback. Like for example, if you've used your Fiery War Axe, now you can bring it back and then use it again, right? I think it's pretty good. Other applications would be like if you use your Frostmourne and then you bring it back. Oh my god, another Frostmourne? Sign me up for that. Gladiator's Longbow is another one. ATH is pretty good because considering it's a 1 mana weapon. Holy crap, that's really, really good. And then we have our legendary artifacts that every single class is going to get, right? So these legendary artifacts, as of now, kind of feel a little bit but maybe if you can use them twice, it might be a little bit better. Who knows? 7 out of 10, good card. Next, we have Seeping. Oh my god, I forgot the P. Seeping Oozling. It's a 6 mana 5/4 Hunter card. Battlecry, gain the Death Rattle of a random minion in your deck. So basically, Blizzard is telling us, please play Death Rattle Hunter. And we're like, okay, no thank you. Because, like, sure, it combos well with Seven the Highmane, it combos well with Abominable Snowman, it even combos well with the Bloodbat, right? But at the end of the day, would you play a 6 mana 5/4? I don't think so. And coupled the fact that you get a random Death Rattle instead of a good Death Rattle, I'm not so sure, right? I'm not so sure. And yeah, like I said earlier on, Control Hunters still need good early game in order for this card to be useful. I would say this is an okay if you manage to get it to work, so I will still give it a 7 out of 10, but it's still very conditional. Next, we have Spiteful Summoner. It's a 6 mana 4/4 neutral epic. Battlecry, reveal a spell from your deck. Summon a random minion with the same cost. So first, you reveal to your opponent what kind of spells you're playing, and then you don't even play the spell. You play a random minion of the same cost. What is this, Tavern Brawl? No, I'm not gonna play this card. I'm only gonna play this in Arena, right? I'm not gonna. I mean, even in Arena, I might not even want to play this card. Why do I want to show my opponents my minions, my spells? No, that's not right. That's not right at all. No. This is a bad card. Next, we have Sudden Betrayal. It's a 2 mana rogue secret. Basically, when a minion attacks your hero, instead it attacks one of its neighbors. So you don't get to choose left or right. It chooses by itself. So it's kind of like misdirect, right? But because of that, it's very easy to play around, right? People already play around Betrayal in Arena, and you don't even see Betrayal being played in Constructed simply because Betrayal is a bad card. It's not good. It doesn't really remove that many minions. You kind of want to hard remove more minions, and this is not the way to do it. So this is actually not a very good card. It doesn't even proc when your opponent has only one minion on the board. So I think this is not a good card. 2 out of 10. Next, we have the Shaman artifact, the Rune Spear. It's an 8 mana 3/3. Are you kidding me? An 8 mana 3/3? I'd rather play a 5 mana Doom Hammer. Okay? After a hero attacks, discover a spell and cast it with random targets. Sure, when you discover a spell, casting on random targets is one of the worst things you can do. And take note, if the spell has overload, you overload as well. Like what? So are you telling me that if I get Lava Burst and I choose Lava Burst, I burst myself, I take 5 damage and I overload for free? That is a no-go. That is a no-go. Sure, you can argue and say that, oh, there's Lightning Storm, oh, there's a Maelstrom Portal, there's a Volcano, right? There are just as equally bad Shaman cards that could target your face or target your minions, and this is just not as good as you think it is, right? It's only good in Arena, not in Standard. Absolutely not. It's too costly and it's too risky. Next, we have Twig of the Woad Tree. It's a Druid artifact, right? It's a 4 mana 1/5. So basically, if you play this on turn 4, you'll get 10 mana crystals in turn like 9. What? Why do I need 10 mana crystals now then? Sure, I guess you can play living mana and then suddenly get 10 mana crystals back. That might make a little bit more sense. But right now it's like, huh? You want to ramp up, sure, but playing this is akin to playing a wild growth, right? If you play it normally. If you play living mana, it's a little bit better. So I'm not so sure, man. Even if you use hero power, you have 2 attack, it's like kind of too weak. I'm not so sure. Like, sure, play living mana if you want to play this card, I guess. Next, we have Unidentified Elixir. It's a free mana pre-spell. Give a minion +2/+2, gains a bonus effect in your hand. And all of these effects, if you look down below, they are great. They give you Death Rattle, return this minion to your hand. They give you Lifesteal, they give you Divine Shield, they give you summon a 1/1 copy of it. All of these are so good. They're just so good, right? I don't care what effect I get. As long as I get it, I'm happy. This is a good card. 8 out of 10. Very powerful. Next, we have Wandering Monster. It's a 2-mana Hunter Secret. When an enemy attacks your hero, summon a free cost minion as the new target. So it's the new get down, right? I think this is one of the more powerful hunter cards. It's really, really good to stall for until your late game. So I think Wandering Monster is one of the better cards so far. It's kind of like, you know, if your opponent's trying to test for Freezing Trap and they get Wandering Monster, they actually get their small minions destroyed. I think that's much better than putting their small minions back into their hand and having them play it again, especially if the small minions have Battlecry, right? I think this is a little bit better. 8 out of 10. Next, we have the final card in this video. We have Zola the Gorgon. It's a free mana 2/2 legendary. Choose a friendly minion, add a golden copy of it in your hand. So it's kind of like a glorified Panda Brewmaster, except that you don't, you know, bounce it back. You kind of like just copy it. So that's why it's a legendary instead of a common. Yeah, but yeah, with this, maybe we can see a little bit more of quest rogues. Maybe we see more of tempo rogues with the Prince Kalasef, right? You play Prince Kalasef and then you play Zola the Gorgon, and then you have so many Prince Kalasefs to work with. This might be pretty good. Not gonna lie, this might be pretty good. 7 out of 10. So yeah, that's it for today's episode of Kobolds and Catacombs Hearthstone card review. I am really, really excited. Unfortunately, I will not be buying any packs from Kobolds and Catacombs. I will be playing the arenas first and getting the packs from there. But I really, really look forward to this expansion anyway. And I hope you guys enjoyed this review. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.